Welcome to the Health and Safety Orientation Training at the Alstef Canada site. In this orientation, we will cover all essential topics related to safety at both the federal and provincial levels to raise your awareness of hazards, risks, and control measures to follow when working on site. It is important that you follow all site rules to ensure your safety and that of others during your time on site. Our Alstef project team and our safety officer will be present to guide you at every step of our health and safety process.
It is important to know your rights, what is expected of you, and our company rules while on site. You are required to know and follow all site rules. All workers are required to provide proof of job-specific training when on site. While on site, you are prohibited from smoking, except in designated smoking areas, consuming drugs or alcohol, overriding or disabling safety devices, stealing, using personal music devices in work zones, taking unauthorized photos, bringing animals on site, and no one under the age of 16 is allowed. They're breaking the rules behind me, aren't they?
We all have the right to work in a safe environment and should be made aware of the hazards on site. Your employer or site supervisor should hold toolbox talks to discuss the hazards on site and develop safe work practices and job procedures to limit the possible risk. You're required to perform pre-safety assessment check before each task. If you see something that poses a hazard and you can correct it without putting yourself in danger, do it. Otherwise, you're required by law to immediately report the hazard to your supervisor, Joint Health and Safety Committee or Health and Safety Rep. Not only have you the right to refuse unsafe work, if you're assigned work that appears unsafe, you should refuse to do it and find a safe solution with your supervisor. In the event of an emergency, you must know where to go. Designated emergency gathering areas will be shown to you during orientation. Remember, safety is not only your right, it's your duty.
Now that we've told you what you can expect, Alstef, let's talk about what we expect from you. You should follow project and employee safety rules. Participate in the necessary job training when required. RMIS training is mandatory before being cleared to work. Your employer is required to give you a current safety data sheet or material safety data sheet.
Work safety starts at home. You are required to wear long pants or full-length overalls and a shirt with sleeves. Hard hats should be CSA approved. You are not allowed to wear anything underneath that may alter the fit of the hard hat or obstruct your vision. Flip-flops or jandals are not allowed on site. You must wear CSA-approved footwear marked with a green triangle logo. Work boots must be fully laced and 6 inches high to protect your ankles. The type of gloves used on site changes depending on the task. Cut-resistant gloves should be worn when handling sharp objects, and the material safety data sheet indicates which gloves to wear when handling chemicals. Eye protection is to be worn at all times on site. When working with chemicals, refer to the material safety data sheet. In some cases, you will need to wear a full face shield. You should wear hearing protection, particularly in noisy areas. Your supervisor can provide the proper PPE and instructions. You are required to wear a high-vis vest at all times while on site. If you require respiratory protection, a N95 mask or better is mandatory.
Inspecting your work area before work is an important routine. If something isn't right, fix it and alert your supervisor. Your work areas should be kept neat and tidy. Storage areas should be well organised so you can access material easily. Keep work and lunch areas free of garbage and dispose properly of trash. Do not store anything in doorways, stairwells, or public areas. Oh, mate, you right? As you know, airborne construction material can pose an extreme hazard. Material should be tied down at all times and no closer than 1.8 metres to an edge. Be sure to remove all loose debris from elevated areas and use covered containers if need be.
When working near edges, tools should be tethered to prevent them from falling. All tools and attachments should be properly secured. Equipment such as tables and scaffolds should be tied to a permanent structure. At the end of the day, supervisor must inspect the area to ensure all materials are secure.
Do not work in the dark.
Alstef
provides temporary lighting at entry and exit points along passageways, stairwells, and common areas. If your area is not properly lit, ask your supervisor for better lighting.
Proper hydration is important to your health. Each company is required to provide water for their workers.
Before helping an injured worker, be sure that the area is safe and identify the hazard that caused the accident. The injured worker should only be attended to or moved by someone trained in first aid. Thanks, Taylor. If you need to get help, make sure that someone remains with the injured worker. Give the site office a brief description of the accident scene so that medical aid may be called. The incident will need to be investigated, so do not disturb the accident scene more than necessary. One or more first aid stations are on site and locations will be shown to you during orientation. Although we have staff trained in first aid, your company should also have individuals trained in first aid.
Now that we've talked about the various site rules, let's talk about the hazards you can find while working on site.
Falls are the leading cause of accidents. If you will be exposed to fall hazards, you must be trained in the selection, use, and maintenance of fall protection equipment. Static lines should be designed by a professional engineer and must be CSA approved and inspected prior to use. Protruding hazards such as threaded rods, pipes, and conduits may need to be minimized. If you are exposed to a fall of more than 2.4 meters or 8 feet, a guardrail must be installed. The installation of the guardrail is typically the responsibility of the trade that created the fall point. If you remove a guardrail to do work on an unguarded edge, you must put up a temporary barrier to warn others to stay away from the area. Before leaving the area, for any reason, ensure the area is secured with the necessary signage posted. Use of retractable lanyards or bump lines as edge protection must be reviewed by the glide path safety supervisor prior to use.
Subcontractors who create openings are responsible for covering any openings more than 4 inches in diameter. Covers must be sturdy, properly secured, and clearly marked with the words danger hole or a circle with an X in the middle. You must select the appropriate ladder for the work to be done. It must be CSA, ANSA, Grade 1 approved, with weight and use restrictions on the label. You are not allowed to stand on the top step, second step from the top, or the pail shelf. You must lean straight ladders at an angle ratio of 4:1. Scaffolding must be erected by a certified worker who complies with all of the manufacturer instructions. Every effort will be made to avoid running cables across pathways, but you also need to be aware of buried cables, cables running on the ground, and those strung overhead.
Compressed gas cylinders pose an explosive hazard and are to be stored in a flammable goods container and not stored indoors. If not in use, return to the supplier immediately. For hot work such as welding and grinding, you are to wear the correct PPE and complete appropriate paperwork. If you are working with an open flame or generating sparks, you must have a fire extinguisher within reach. All fire extinguishers must be a minimum 4A, 40 BC rating and be inspected monthly. You must remove flammable and combustible materials from all hot work areas prior to starting work. When work is completed, you must inspect the work area to ensure no ignition source is present. You should use the proper equipment handling device when possible and avoid manual handling. A variety of devices are available. Consult the Safe Work Practices manual located in the office. Elevated platforms more than 8 feet high must be planked across the entire width and have guardrails installed. Rolling scaffolds, including Baker scaffold, are to have their wheels locked at all times when a worker is on board. Some scaffolds may require a professional engineer depending on the legal requirements. When working on a lift, you are required to be secured to it at all times. Your feet are to remain on the floor and never on the guardrails. Always inspect your path for hazards and obstructions and remove them immediately. While in the lift, keep the chain, swing gate, or drop bar closed. Lift inspections must be done daily before use and documented. Electrical cables on site can pose a hazard. Treat all cables as live. A site map shows their location and it is your responsibility to know where they are on site.
When working indoors, avoid the use of equipment powered by internal combustion engines and use electric-powered equipment when possible. It's the responsibility of the contractor to provide proper ventilation to all equipment that produces exhaust gases. All mobile equipment used on site must be equipped with a backup alarm. Equipment without an alarm must use a safety spotter until one can be installed. Warning signs and caution tape are important safety tools that should be provided by each subcontractor to support their activity. Signs warning of a particular hazard should be used with a yellow caution tape to identify the dangers of a particular area. Yellow caution tape warns of an increased risk in the area and red danger tape indicates a serious hazard. You may only enter a red tape area if you are authorized to work there. When you have finished your work in a taped off area and the hazard no longer exists, you must remove the caution tape under the direction of your supervisor. A few other points to remember while on site. While working on a live roadway, be alert. Don't walk between baggage carts and follow airport regulations. When working on electrical systems, only authorized workers are allowed into electrical rooms. If delivering materials through public areas, remember to have a spotter. When working around a live conveyor, be sure to lock out, tag out when necessary, and use the correct safety labels. Last but not least, remember to communicate all hazards to other workers or speak with their supervisor. It's the first step in ensuring that your environment is kept safe.
Alstef
Maintains a zero-tolerance policy when it comes to safety. Discipline for violating safety rules is the responsibility of your supervisor, and if this is not effective, you may be banned from the site.
Thank you for participating in the Alstef Canada Health and Safety Orientation Training. Please remember, stop, think, then act. Safety is everyone's responsibility. With your cooperation, we can continue to ensure a safe environment for everyone on site. This concludes our Site Safety Induction Training video. Thank you for attending, and remember to think smart and work safely.